So I'll hammer it home again, like I always do. When I used to think that the plant-based was the way to go for our blood type and all this BS, without even considering that there could be mitigating factors inside the body that might actually counter the supposed clotting of the blood when exposed to the lectin of beef, for instance. Because how come I look 10 years younger 4.5 years later after going on beef? Because clearly that wasn't the whole truth. It might even have been true that it clotted under the microscope when they looked, but it's obviously not clotting inside of our bodies. So, and if it is, it must be getting undone by some other mechanism that they didn't look into or didn't want to tell us about or whatever. But no, I think the guy that wrote the book truly believed in what he was doing. His father started the study on it because he was curious. He's like, why is this happening? And then you find yourself going down roads and then you're not taking into consideration other factors or variables, which is something I learned being with Rob, being a statistician, that you cannot, you must open your eyes wider and look at all the variables, which is interesting. At the end, nearing the end of his life, he became myopic, where he would not look at the variables. So it's just really odd. But anyway, at the time, he was right when he was saying, you can't discount all the variables. So, my point was, diet is key to your health. Your mental health and emotional health depends on your physical health. It's all, and your emotions run and they travel on the same nerves as your nerves of pain, heat, cold perception, touch, all that. So that's why you feel it all together when you're feeling emotionally wrecked. Your body's very shaky, it's all riding on the same highways, because I witnessed it with Brian, and the disease that he had was eating the sheath off his nervous system and attacking his cerebellum and some other part back there. I want to say the amygdala, but I don't know if that was it. But anyway, and his motor function. If I'd known then what I know now, he would have made it a lot further and had better gains. But we still had gains. We still learned things from him. We learned that the drugs that they put him on was definitely not the ticket. We learned that much. And anyway, my point is, now that I know that animal fats are the key and animal proteins this is the human diet from however old humanity is. We didn't come into being because of farming, because of bread and modern day vegetables and fruits did not exist. They'll claim all day long they're not GMO, but they are. Because they never grew in the wild. So at some point, they were genetically modified to create what we now eat today. And I guess maybe we changed a little to be able to adapt a little bit to some of these things, but they're not natural. And hunting and fishing and gathering of eggs, as well as the birds, and eating these things is where and how we got where we are today. That is the human diet. I mean, it is what it is. And I highly recommend it for any ailment whatsoever, any weakness, anything that you think is not right in your body, is go 30 days carnivore. Or highly carnivore, highly animal-based. I mean, if you're really messed up, go straight carnivore for 90 days and get back to me. You'll get back to me in 2 weeks and be like, oh my God, in a week and be like, holy shit, I can't believe how much better I will. It happens, but I know it's difficult, and we all have habits like coffee or tea or this, whatever. I mean, bread. I mean, there's things that get in our way, but, if you want it, go for it. We're in control of ourselves. Only we can do it. Nobody else can do it. And then once you do this, then you will see where you may have nutritional deficiencies that you need to build back up through supplementation. This is just my personal feelings about it. It will fix so many things by itself to eat it, even if it's store-bought meat. Like, oh, it's not lacking nutrition. It may be, but it's better than fake meat and better than bread. I mean, it's just simple. It's just that simple. So I feel the commercial chicken is really crappy. particularly because they feed them such crap, and then they don't have, even the eggs are not yellow, the yolks aren't real yellow because the chickens aren't fed that well. So that's something to think about. But I mean, we can only afford what we can afford, and beef is the ticket. Beef, it's what's for dinner. They told us this, I think it was the 80s or 90s, in the commercials. They were telling us the truth, and then they turned right around and demonized it. So they told us the truth first, and then they flipped on it. Just like the incredible edible egg, then they flipped on that too. So eat it in good health, feel better, and avoid caffeine and sugars for about a week to pull out of any real shaky stuff, and then have 1 cup of 100% Arabica beans only, because that seems to be less jittery causing than the Robusto, as Couch Lady once told us, and it seems to be true, because when I switched, the jitters stopped. May she rest in peace. Boink. Later on. It's my 2 cents.